again, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to my kitchen up here in the woods north of Huntsville, Ontario. I have another dessert recipe as part of week 8, our final week, of the Real Women of Philadelphia cooking competition. Today we are making grilled peach and blueberry ginger gratins, one of my favorite summertime desserts. For these sweet gratins, we take fresh ripe peaches, grill them up on the barbecue, toss them in individual gratin dishes with some fresh blueberries, and then slather a blanket of a ginger-infused, Philly-enriched pastry cream over top before broiling it until it's golden brown and bubbly. Does that sound amazing or what? We could start either by preparing our fruit or preparing our pastry cream topping, and I'm going to do the pastry cream first. So for that, I've already got a head start. I have half a cup of milk, to which I've added a couple coin-sized pieces of sliced fresh ginger root. You're probably familiar with ginger. Peaches and ginger pair beautifully together. I've brought that up to just under a simmer, covered it up, and let it steep for about 5 minutes. While that was steeping, I whisked together 1 egg yolk, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and 2 tablespoons of cold milk. So I'm bringing our milk up back to a very warm temperature, and then I will slowly add it into my yolk mixture, whisking all the time. And then I'll put the whole thing back into the pot, back over heat, and I will stir, whisking constantly until it is thick. There are 2 parts to our pastry cream topping. This thick ginger-infused custard that we're making, but then we're going to whip some Philadelphia cream cheese with some heavy cream, and then once this is cooled down, fold those 2 together. That is super thick. Let that cook for another 30 seconds, and then straight into our bowl. I'm straining it through a mesh sieve. Since this is a very thick custard, I gotta use my spatula to press it through. I could smell the ginger, but we've got one other flavor going in here. I've got 1 tablespoon of almond flavored liqueur. Almond and ginger are so nice together. Both of them go so perfectly with peaches. Peaches and almond, of course, are a classic combination. So that's how thick our custard is. It's gorgeous. And there's not a lot of it. It's not a big quantity because it's only part of our topping. So it'll cool down pretty quickly. It needs to be about room temperature before we fold it in with the rest of our pastry cream. So while this is cooling in its water bath, I'll stir it every now and then, but I'll whip together our cream cheese and heavy cream to stiff peaks. I've got 1/3 of a cup of Philadelphia cream cheese. You can use light or regular. I didn't sweeten our Philly cream, and there's not a heck of a lot of sugar in the custard, but we're also going to be sprinkling some brown sugar over the top of our cream before broiling it. That is gorgeous. So this will go into the fridge until we are ready to top and broil our gratins. So next up, we prepare our peaches. For these fruit gratins, you want about 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of fruit per serving. So for peaches, that would be 1 medium to medium large peach per person. If they're small peaches, you might need 1.5, or if you get those big jumbo peaches, 1/2 a peach per person might do. And don't forget, we're adding some fresh blueberries that'll add great contrast, plus they'll fill in the nooks and crannies in our individual gratin dishes. And for our peaches, you can either peel them or leave them unpeeled. It's entirely up to you. It's all personal taste. I find leaving them peeled holds together a little better on the barbecue, and also it has some real rustic appeal to it. For a more refined dish, go ahead, peel your peaches. I've got both here. I peeled 2 and I left 2 unpeeled just so you could see the difference. And I've got some melted butter here, and just plain unsalted butter melted. about half a tablespoon per peach. And I'm just going to brush some of it into our gratin dishes, just so I don't get my fingers greasy buttering them later. And this recipe makes 4 servings, but I'm only making 2 today because there are only 2 of us here right now, and the rest of the topping and the rest of the fruit can wait in the fridge till tomorrow and I can have it all over again. I'm adding a couple pinches of brown sugar in here, plus a dash each of ground cinnamon and ground. Now, if you are making this at the peak of peach season, then you don't need sugar or spices. A perfectly ripe peach is, well, perfect. All you do is brush them with butter, put them on the grill, and let that beautiful peach flavor shine on its own. But we're early in the season now, and these peaches have traveled rather far to get here, so a little bit of sugar and spice is going to help enhance the flavor and kind of bring out the best of the peaches. So, and the spices go beautifully with the ginger and almond in our cream. Brush the peaches. So these are ready for the grill. I could cook these on an indoor grill, but we are talking about summertime desserts. We're going to head outside and grill them up on the barbecue. Hi again, we're out here on my deck, and even though this is a summertime dessert, we are definitely experiencing springtime weather, and around these parts that means black flies. That's why I am suited up in my bug jacket. This is the uniform of the North. If you've never met a black fly, you're missing out on a great Canadian experience. But the good thing is, this grill's up quick, so let me get going. Our grill is preheated to medium high, the grate is clean, gonna spray it with some oil, and just get our peaches on, cut side down. They only need a couple minutes per side. We want them to get some grill marks, get a little bit of caramelization happening. Whew. I'm back. I braved the bugs, and these peaches were worth it, I tell you. I don't know if you could see this, but they are beautiful. We've got some nice grill marks, some nice colorization, caramelization. They're glossy. They're a little warm, but definitely not mushy, not overcooked. And all I'm going to do now is cut them into bite-sized pieces and transfer them to our individual gratin dishes. Some fresh blueberries on top. I'd say maybe a 1/4 cup. Eyeball it, whatever looks good to you. And now we top it with our Philly pastry cream. Remember, this makes enough to top 4 individual gratins, and we're only making 2 right now. So I'll use half of the cream mixture and divide that half up between our 2 gratins. Alright, and as I said, sugar on top. This is going to help it brown up really nice. If I don't want to heat up my whole kitchen with my big oven, I just broil these in my little countertop toaster oven, and that's what I'm doing today. So this just goes under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes. Watch it closely. You don't want it to burn. It is done when it is golden brown on top and bubbling. Now I'm going to show you another trick on a hot summer day when you don't want to have even a little oven on in your house. Rather than putting this under a broiler, we're going to torch it. So just like you would a brulee. So we have here 2 grilled peach and blueberry ginger gratins. One, I have just torched the top like a creme brulee, so our berries are still fresh and our underlying cream is a little cool, and our peaches, of course, have some residual heat from the grill. For our other gratin, I put that in our little toaster oven under the broiler, and it has broiled up to this beautiful golden brown, and some of the berries have even started to burst. I love the way this recipe showcases the wonderful fruits of summer, as well as the rich, creamy goodness of Philadelphia cream cheese. This is good. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again.